The call from the grave. 15 years ago, I buried my only son. Zion was 17 when a drunk driver took him from me on a rainy night in March 2010. I held his cold hand in the funeral home, kissed his forehead one last time, and dropped a white rose onto his casket as it was lowered into the earth. That hollow thud of dirt on wood still echoes in my nightmares. Life stopped that day. My marriage crumbled 6 months later. My husband Darius couldn't bear to look at me without seeing the empty space where our boy used to be. He remarried, had new children. I stayed frozen in time, keeping Zion's room exactly as he left it, his Batman blanket, his dusty guitar, his unfinished math homework, his old blue Nokia phone buried with him at his strange teenage request. Every Sunday I brought fresh flowers to his grave and talked to him like he could still hear me. I even kept his cell phone plan active just to call and hear his cheerful voicemail, "Hey, you've reached Zion. Leave a message." Then, on a quiet Wednesday night in August 2025, exactly 15 years later, my phone rang at 3:27 a.m. The screen glowed with a single word. Zion. My heart forgot how to beat. I had renamed the contact. Zion, do not answer, years ago so I could call his voicemail without crying every time. Yet there it was, his name, unchanged. I answered with shaking hands. Slow, confused breathing, then a voice I would know anywhere. Mom, where am I? It's so dark in here. I screamed his name. He sounded terrified, disoriented, 17 again. Mom, I'm cold. I can feel wood all around me. What happened? He was describing the inside of his coffin. He remembered the crash, the pain, the bright lights pulling him upward, and then nothing until he suddenly woke up, in total darkness with his old Nokia clutched in his dead hand. Somehow the phone still had battery. Somehow it had signal 6 feet underground. For the next 3 days he called whenever the mysterious charge allowed. Each time his voice grew clearer, more aware. He read aloud the goodbye letter I'd placed in his casket 15 years earlier and cried with me through the speaker. His father Darius heard him too. We weren't hallucinating. Zion begged us to get him out. He said time was different where he was, that he had lived entire lifetimes in the place between life and death, growing into a man while his body remained preserved underground. He said he wasn't the only one trapped there, and some of the others wanted back for very dark reasons. He was holding the door closed from the other side, but he was running out of strength. We had 3 days. Legal exhumation would take weeks. So on the third night, with the help of a sympathetic cemetery night watchman and Darius's forensic pathologist friend Kai, we broke into the cemetery after hours. We dug by moonlight and flashlight until the shovel struck wood. When we opened the casket, there he was, exactly as I'd last seen him at the funeral. No decay. Skin warm, not cold. His old Nokia glowing with an eerie blue light beneath his folded hands. The screen flashed a single message. Get me out, take me home. We carried him, blanket wrapped and impossibly light, back to the bedroom that had waited 15 years for him. We gave him water, sunlight, music, everything the glowing phone asked for. At dawn, the room filled with a low humming. Blue light poured from the phone and wrapped around his body like a cocoon. We watched 15 lost years race across his face and frame in minutes, cheeks hollowing then filling out, limbs lengthening, teenage softness giving way to the strong angles of manhood. The light vanished. Zion opened his eyes, older eyes, wise and ancient, and smiled. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I told you I'd find my way back. He is 32 now, though death records still say he died at 17. With Kai's help we built him a new identity and a cover story about amnesia and mistaken death certificates. He is alive, truly alive. Sometimes I catch him staring at nothing with a distant look, listening to voices only he can hear. He says he still guards the door he came through, making sure nothing evil follows. Death wasn't the end for my son. It was only a long, strange detour. And one ordinary night, the boy I buried called me from the grave, and asked me to bring him home. I did. If this story gave you chills, drop your city in the comments. I love seeing how far these stories travel. And if you want more, hit subscribe. See you in the next one.